Welcome to our channel. My name is Tracy. I'm the keeper of the home here at 4D Farms, where we are all about faith, family, home, and farm. I hope you find something on our channel that will encourage you and inspire you on your journey. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit like and subscribe, and be sure to turn that little notifications bell on so you'll get notified every time a brand new video is uploaded. We hope to see you in each and every one. Thanks for watching. Hey y'all, welcome to today's video in my bread making for beginners series. But first, let me say this. If you are just seeing me for the first time and you are jumping in on this video and you're going to be lost in this video and you have no clue what I'm talking about, I am in the middle of a bread making for beginners series on my channel, here on my channel, and we're getting like into the advanced stage in this series. So if you're new and you're catching me for the first time and this is the first video, you might want to go back and start with the very first video on this playlist. I have organized all of my bread making for beginners videos onto one playlist, and that's what it's called, 4D Farms Bread Making for Beginners playlist. I don't want you to jump in here and be lost and have no clue what I'm talking about. So feel free to jump in and start with that first video and catch up to this one, so that way you won't be lost. And by all means, thank you for tuning in and joining us today. If this is your first time, welcome. Would love to have you. Subscribe and like if you get done seeing this video and you're like, I like her. I want to hear more of what she's got to say. And if you don't, that is fine with me. But thanks for joining us today. And now to my subscribers and my viewers who are already in this series with me, and you've started from the beginning or you started in the middle or something like that. Do the same thing. Go back and catch that first one, because there may be some things that I'm going to talk about today that you may be lost on. But if you have started from the very beginning, you know what's coming now. This is the section in the series where we're going to start getting a little more advanced, because we are going to take the information from the previous video or two videos, and now we're fixing to put all that knowledge and information to use. And if you've missed that couple of videos before this one, you might want to go back and check those out, because it's crucial and it's important information to what we're fixing to get into now. Because we're going to take all that knowledge that we learned about the basics of bread making and all the basics and knowledge and nutritional value and the importance and the knowledge of using the whole grain, okay, to grind and meal into flour to turn around and make delicious things with now moving forward, okay? And I explained in the videos from a biblical perspective, say that fast, about all the nutritional value of the whole grain. And just to recap, if you're just tuning in, I'll recap, but be sure to catch those videos before. All-purpose flour from the grocery store is good. It is. It's good because you're starting the staple basics to homemade bread making. I started out using all-purpose flour from the store, and that's good. I still use it and incorporate it in some recipes and some breads and things like that. But I'm beginning to venture into grinding my own grain and making my own flour. So if you get all-purpose flour from the store, try to get the unbleached, because Flour from the grocery store has already been stripped a lot of the important nutrients. All you're left with is the endosperm, which is like the scrappy stuff left over. The wheat germ and the bran has been taken out. Y'all, that is 75% of your nutritional value in the whole grain wheat berry. Okay? You want those things. That is your gut health, your nutrition for your body. Okay? Excuse me, y'all. I'm battling a little cold today. And you want the whole grain for your nutritional value. So all-purpose flour from the store is good. Just know that some things has been removed, and you're not getting 100% of the nutritional value that you could be getting if you get the grains and you mill and grind your own grain to get your flour. Okay, so with that being said, that's what we're fixing to get into, okay? But we got to start out by grinding the grain first. Y'all be sure to go back and catch the previous 2 videos. I explain more into detail everything, okay? Now, I'm going to show y'all today what I use to grind my grain, okay? It is an attachment that goes onto my KitchenAid mixer. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I grind the grain into flour, how it grinds. I'm going to let you watch it. I'm going to let you get a little bird's eye view of how this works. And as it's grinding the flour, okay, then we'll get into, I will show you the grain that I use. Okay, if you're interested in grinding your own grains, milling your own flour, mostly hard white wheat berries, okay, is what is used in bread making. Soft white wheat berries is used in pastries, desserts, biscuits, things like that. But I will be grinding hard white wheat berries today, and I'll talk you through it. I'll show you the process, and I need to make a few disclaimers. KitchenAid is not sponsoring this video. I'm not an affiliate with KitchenAid, okay? I wish I was, because y'all, I have a KitchenAid mixer. I have just about all the attachments, okay? And I wished I was, but they do not have an affiliate program. But my KitchenAid mixer, my grain mill attachment, I'm fixing to show you all of my KitchenAid attachments that I have for my mixer is in our Amazon store on my Kitchen Essentials playlist. If you want to get one, you want a stand mixer, you're interested, it's in our Amazon store. The berries that I'm going to be using, I do have some put in our Amazon store in our Kitchen Essentials playlist, because I'm showing you other options where you can get grain from. But if you want some, they come in 25-pound tubs in the plastic containers with the sealed lid. But we were so fortunate, y'all, that I found grains here from a local Mennonite store, a health food store, all natural store, and they can order my grains for me in 50-pound bags. Yes, I got a bag of hard white wheat berries and a bag of soft white wheat berries, okay? So that's what we're going to be milling today into flour. Disclaimer number 2, I am an affiliate with Nutri that makes several different kinds of grinding mills to grind these hard grains, okay? I don't have a Nutri at the moment, but it is in the works because I would love to get my mother one. Since I already have a grain mill, dear hubby bought it for me as a Christmas present, my attachment, but my mother is getting into grinding grain, and she's using a little grinder, and I'm afraid it's just going to tear up on her, and I'm wanting to get her a grinder for her house so she can get more into this. She's loving it. Okay. And I share my berries with her, my grains with her. And, yes, I intend, and affiliates are allowed to go through their own program and use their own discounts. So if you're interested, if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer or anything like that, and you are interested in, like, you know what? I see all the nutritional benefits. I see what she's talking about. I think I'm interested, okay? I will leave a link below in the description box for the NutriMeal link and my discount code that you can go to and check out everything. Y'all, they even have some on there. They have like a clearance and a refurbished section that you can check out, okay? But I want to get my mother one. What is another disclaimer? I think that's all. But so let's get into this portion, and I'm going to show you how I use my grain mill, how it works, the grains that it uses, and I'll let you see it grinding the grain, and we'll get a little more into it. And then in this video too, I needed to show you from beginning how to grind your own grain, how to do it, use your flour. Then we're going to get into making some delicious bread today, okay? So, and using this flour fresh today to make bread with, because it is morning time, and I'm going to be using my 5-minute no-knead bread dough. Y'all, it's in a previous videos in this list. I probably won't repeat the process of showing you how to mix up the dough, because for those of y'all that's already been watching, I've already done it in several videos before this one, so I don't want to keep repeating the process. But like I said, if you're new and you want to start out on a beginner level making bread, and you don't have a stand mixer, you don't know how to knead bread, y'all, this is the perfect bread dough for you to get started, and then incorporating freshly milled flour, okay? 5-minute no-knead bread dough or quick bread dough. I will link that video to the recipe and the first time I ever mixed it up, and explaining that quick bread dough and how to use it, because first of all, it mimics sourdough. It is a fermented bread dough. Healthy benefits for the gut. Then you're going to double whammy freshly milled flour. Woo! Talk about nutrition. Oh, I feel like Ric Flair. Woo! Y'all, my boys grew up watching wrestling on TV. Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, all them. Okay, anyway, see, squirrel. You're going to get that double whammy of benefits. This dough mimics sourdough. It's fermentation process. But y'all, 5-minute no-knead bread dough. It takes you 5 minutes to mix this up. All you do is mix up your ingredients, put it in a container that has a lid on it, but not a locking lid, because you want just a little bit of air to get in there to create all those fermenting gas bubbles. Good gas bubbles, okay? And then you're going to set it aside. That's why I'm using morning time to do this, because I got to grind the grain, make it into flour, mix up the dough, and then set it aside on my counter. And then I'm going to let it sit for like 6, 7, 8 hours. And then this evening, we're going to make those 2 loaves of bread. So if you want to know more about the 5-minute no-knead bread, go back and I'll link that video at the end of this one, or I'll put it in the description box below, or you can just skim through and catch the whole playlist. But I take you through that process of explaining this 5-minute no-knead bread, how to mix it up, how to do it. And I think I made a homemade pizza with that night. I went ahead and showed you, y'all, this 5-minute no-knead bread dough recipe. There are so many things you can use with this. It is a staple in this house, because it's a dough you mix up, let ferment, then put it in the refrigerator. You can take off a hunk of dough and do something with it, whatever you want. I also have a video so many things, so many ways to use your 5-minute no-knead bread, or so many different ways to use. Y'all, it's in the playlist. I can't remember. We're so far now into the series, I can't remember. And I will link the whole playlist at the end of this video, okay? And that one is in there for you beginners or you first-time viewers that are just seeing me. So that's the bread dough we're going to be using today, but I'm going to make it off camera and set it aside and let it be doing its thing and fermenting. This evening, we will make that bread. So, in the meantime, if you want to watch that video of how to mix up that dough so you can be writing it down and getting prepared, you can always come back to this video and know what I'm talking about and do these couple of breads with me today. Okay, so let's get started. I think that's all the disclaimers. I think that's all I needed to spit out first. So let's get into grinding this grain, turning it into flour, and then getting the process started making this bread this evening, okay? So I'll show you how my grain mill works. So let's get started. All right, y'all, this is my owner's manual to my attachment, KitchenAid grain mill, and I'll walk you through here, and we'll just look through this. Table of contents, the attachment, what it's made out of, tips for milling your grain, how to grind it, the grains to use, what setting to put them on, how to use it, how to care for it, how to clean it, and it even comes with recipes. I'm going to be using some of these, y'all. That looks like, okay, that's a different language, so I can't look at that. All right, let me show you right quick. It's already running. I had to turn the volume down. I'm going to show y'all how it shoots out the flour into the bowl. I've already got a couple of cups done here. This is the wheat berries, y'all, that we found on Amazon, and we put them in our store for sake of finding them later, but we found out that our local Mennonite store carries the wheat berries that we need, and I can get them in the 50-pound bags. This is the hard white wheat berries. This is the attachment in action. Y'all, this thing is heavy, so it's made with good quality. That's your coarse grind, your fine grind. It shoots through the bottom where it goes straight into your bowl. Make sure you put a towel down. All right, let me show you how this grinds the grain. You load it into your hopper at the top, and it just grinds away. And this is the hard white wheat berries. You mostly use just the hard white wheat berries to make bread. Okay? All right? It's shooting it into the bowl. Well, look at that. We have flour. I love the quality of this and the materials it's made out of. And the berries, you want to use soft white wheat berries for everything else, like pastries, desserts, things like that. Pancakes, waffles, biscuits. All right, here the blades are in action, grinding the grain. Whatever you do, do not stick anything down in this hopper to help the grains along, because those blades are sharp and strong, and it'll suck in a knife and suck in anything you try to put down in there. All right, so there is our grain meal in action. We're going to cut this off. After the grinding, I went ahead and made up my 5-minute no-knead dough recipe, set it out on the counter to let it ferment for 8 hours. So it's later on this evening, and I want y'all to see what this looks like and listen. You hear those bubbles? You hear that fermentation? Y'all, that sounds good and looks good. Not bad for grains, whole grains. This is the book I always use, y'all. This thing is filled with tons of recipes. And y'all, they've actually come out with an updated book for whole grains. So this book, I'm going to use the whole wheat bread recipe, but I know I'm going to be substituting the flour. But in the new book, they have the actual recipes using the flour that is milled from wheat berries. So I'll put both books in our Amazon store. The old one, if you want to use all-purpose flour, and the new one, if you want to use whole grains and milled into flour. But I am going to be just following the same directions, just substituting the flour. All right, so I had a little bit of flour left over from after it was milled that I didn't have to use in the recipe. So I'm just going to use it to flour my surface and my hands and everything else, so that way I'm not wasting and I'm not putting an all-purpose flour back into this dough. I'm going to use my curved dough scraper and get it out of here. And y'all, since I want to make 2 loaves, I'm going to use the whole tub full. Now remember, when you're using grains, whole grains, milling into flour, and especially if it's whole wheat, y'all, your flour is, the texture of your flour is going to be different than that of all-purpose. It's going to feel funnier. It's going to be denser, okay? So this set for a pretty good while, and it's a really good hydrated dough. So I'm going to have to add just a little more flour to keep it from sticking and sticking to my hands. So I'm going to roll it around just a little bit and let it firm up a little bit, get used to the temperature of my hands, keep it from sticking. I love dough scrapers, y'all, because it scrapes, okay? Hence, dough scraper, okay? It comes in handy. Nice little tool. And yes, this is in our Amazon store. And we're just going to keep flipping here and we're not going to knead it, but we're just going to work it a little bit. That's all. Just enough to work just a teeny tiny little bit of flour back into it. Because it is, a fermented bread, y'all, is hydrated. Okay? It is going to be stickier and wetter. Okay, so you will have to keep your hands, and your board floured, okay? And you can use a couple of little stretch and fold methods that I have learned from people that work with sourdough. And they do a stretch and fold method. And we're just going to keep shaping just till I get it to the right, not so stickiness that I want. I don't know how else to say that. I don't know how to properly word it, but I'm just going to keep working with it till I get it like I want it. Now, I have sprayed, I'm going to, just for beginner purposes, I'm going to be using like the little meatloaf pans, some people call them, bread making pans. I've got a metal one, a non-stick one, and I have a glass one I'm going to be using. I've already got them sprayed. So and now I'm going to divide it into 2 loaves. I'm just going to go ahead and use this whole tub full, and I'm going to separate it into 2 loaves. Put one over to the side. We'll work with this one. I'm going to use my pan as a guide to see how long I need it and shape it in that rectangle the same length as the pan. See, it's beginning to stick a little bit again, so just remember, fermented dough, the 5-minute no-knead bread dough is going to be a little stickier than if you're using a kneaded bread dough and you do it in your stand mixer. So I'm just going to keep using a little flour. That's all. We're going to plop it over here into this pan, and I'm going to make sure all of the corners are full of bread dough. So I'm going to press it down just a little bit, fill it in those corners. I'm going to do the other loaf the exact same way. Put it in my other loaf pan. And it is sprayed. And y'all, I discovered something else on my oven. I have a bread proofer feature on my oven. I use the oven light sometimes as a proofing feature. But the top of my oven also has a warming zone. And dear hubby's like, I buy you appliances with all the bells and whistles and you don't even use them. So y'all, I'm going to try to use them. Okay? So we're going to get this one in here and I'm going to use that little feature on my oven in a minute and proof these babies. So we are going to cover these up with a tea towel and put them on my warming zone on my oven. And we're going to let these proof until they double in size. I just want to make sure I don't have any air pockets and I am filling in the corners of my bread loaf, my bread pans. Clean up. Let's get these on the stove. There's my little feature. We're going to cover them up with a tea towel, let them double in size. All right, y'all. It's proofed, doubled in size. Look at that. Y'all, I'm going to follow the directions and I'm going to put it in the oven and bake it just following the directions. Fresh out of the oven. It's smelling good, looking good. Y'all, look at that color. Look at the color on top. Y'all, this smells so good. So good. I'm going to find some cookie wire racks and we are going to take this out, set it on its side, and we're going to let this cool and resist the urge to cut into it. Look at that. Not bad for freshly milled flour from grains. Ooh, y'all, we have sliced into this and took a little bite and it is delicious. Look at that texture. Dear hubby's fixing to have him a piece of toast with some strawberry jam. I'm going to make mine into a grilled cheese. Y'all got to make this. I'll see you in the next video.